Morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to Loven Stamps. I'm Meg and this is the studio. So I have a project to share with you today that is it's one of those perfect ones where when you sit down to make a card and you're just feeling like, I don't know what to make, you can look at a sweet collection, which includes stamps and dies and designer series paper, usually some embellishments, sometimes some extras like a folder. Look at these pieces and mix and match them. And this card is from the Universal series that I like to share, where really you can adapt it for any suite. So it doesn't have to be the one that we're using today, which is Snowy Scenes Suite with the Snowy Wonder stamps and dies, and but you can use it for any suite. It works great for all of them. And I just realized my link doesn't work. That's so weird. Hold on a second. Oh, I didn't finish it. Okay, well, I'll finish it in a minute here. Anyway, oh gosh, too many things going on at once, right? All right, so the card that we're going to do today is a great one. It works for lots and lots of different things. And if you're trying to use the link for the supplies and on the live video, it'll be there in a second. So anyway, we are going to feature snowy scenes for our cards this month because it is one of those universal stamp sets. It works for months and months. It's not just a Christmas or a holiday stamp set. You can use it well into the new year. And today's card is one that if you wanted to get ahead on the holidays and maybe make some cards to give as gifts, wrap them up in a ribbon, give them as a present to family or friends, this is a really great layout. It's easy to reproduce. And I'm going to show you why you can get lots of these cards out of a single set of supplies. So with that, I am going to switch our camera over and we're going to talk a little bit more about this suite. So we have here the stamps of the dies. We have the white loose snowflakes. These right now are on low inventory. So if this is something that you think you're going to want, and the answer to that is you are, then you're going to want to jump over and grab some of those before too long, just so you don't miss out. Speaking of other things that you're going to want to grab right now, today is the first day of the 30% off on, or 30% up to 30% off of kits special that Stampin' Up is running during October. And it's the first day of the October starter kit special. More about that. So this would be a great suite of supplies that you could get as part of your demonstrator starter kit. And I would highly recommend checking them out. So, all right, the other thing that's included in this sweet collection is the designer series paper. And these patterns are so sweet. Lots of great choices in here. There's some sort of all-purpose designs like the stripes and the snowflakes. These pieces here coordinate with the dies. You can die cut some of these things. These dies you can die cut, not the ones with the hats, but the ones otherwise. And then the snow globes here and the large snow globes are available to you too. So we're going to talk about these snow globes today because you get a bazillion of them. That's not the technical term. Let's see, I've cut some of this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There must be like 8 or so in a row that you get completely. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 6 rows maybe. So that is a whole lot of these little snow globe cards. Any of these snow globes would work for today. When I use these, I like to just generally do a chunky cut here. That's not, I guess that's a technical term now. The chunky cut, and make it easy for myself to cut these out from a whole page here. So let's see. Oh yay, Tanya's excited about this suite. Hi Joan, thanks guys. So we're going to, I need to grab my scissors here. Grab these. And we're gonna do fussy cut on this. This one does not coordinate with the dies that are in the set, but that's okay because it's really, really an easy one to cut out. So I'm just gonna take my scissors, and when you're fussy cutting, remember, you're holding your scissors steady, you're not turning them. You're taking big, long cuts, and you're using your free hand to turn the paper. And you'll notice that mine is not perfect. Yours doesn't have to be perfect either. Just kind of get it done. But keep your free hand here to do all the turning of the paper, and keep your scissor hand steady, and you'll be happiest with your results. So this is a great thing to do when you're watching TV or something like that. And I generally try and keep my margins pretty even, but again, it doesn't really matter if you're a little bit off. So there we have our cute little snow globe. You could also choose to cut right up against the image. I usually like to leave a shadow around the edge that's a little bit like a layer that you would get from doing die cutting, so that you have just sort of that extra, it's almost like a little included mat for your image, okay? So that's gonna make it stand out a little bit. All right, so then let's bring in our cardstock. And I have here Pool Party cardstock. This is just a half sheet. And I really love when we have a layer on a layer like this. You just get that shadow edge around the side that just makes this look extra fancy. So the card that I shared with you last, actually we did that too. And I'll remind you about those all at the end here. Remind me to remind you. And we're going to talk a little bit about the stamps in this set here for those two. Okay, so we're going to take our pieces and we're going to base this on here. So I want to have my snow globe be our focal point. And then I have the choices of all of the fun patterns in our DSP here to mix and match for the background. And I've picked two pieces of DSP here. This one is 1.5 by 4 and this one's 1 by 3. And this card is actually one from a mystery stamping that we did on Friday night with our demonstrator group, our LovenStamps demonstrator group and our my uplines team. And we do this mystery stamping thing on Zoom where we get together and we have like a list of the pieces that we're supposed to pre-cut. And then we make the cards together and everybody uses different stuff and they all come out differently. And it's really fun to see what everybody's got. So this layout is from mystery stamping. And if something like that in a Zoom session sound like fun to you, then you should think about joining my LovenStamps demonstrator team. So there's a link in the video description for that. And the information about that and the starter kit special, which is a bonus $30 with your starter kit, is really, really great. It's a special just for October, so it just started today. And so you get $155 in product of your choice for $99, and the shipping is free. So it is the best deal. Plus then as a demonstrator, you get a discount on your orders and all kinds of other perks, like access to those team Zoom stamping experiences and so forth. We actually have a LovenStamps meeting coming up now in October, and things like access to vacation stamping school, early registration, stuff like that is all part of a perk of being in my team. So I'd love to have you guys join me. Anyway, let's go back to our layout here. We're going to go ahead and pop these two here underneath our snow globe, and you can really see that already our focal point is coming together. We've gone from just a snow globe on a page to having like a base behind it that really emphasizes our focal point. So now we want to add a greeting to this. And as part of our Snowy Wonder stamp set, we have this Let It Snow greeting, which if I were doing these as a gift, like to do a whole set of cards as a gift, I would definitely focus on that Let It Snow greeting because it can be used all year long. There's no limit to, or not all year long, sorry, all season long. There's no limit to where you can use the Let It Snow greeting. So, all right, now I've got a slip of design or of basic white cardstock here. I have ink all over my finger there. I'm going to go ahead and ink Let It Snow. And I'm going to pop this on here. And now I want to trim this so that it's better in scale with the size of our card. And since we're doing rectangles here, we're going to also make a rectangle here from our greeting. And I'm going to pop this on here. What I do when I'm measuring the greeting is I'm looking through the top here to see exactly where it's going to cut compared to my stamped image. And I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And now we have a greeting that's just nice and tight with our message already on it. So here we're going to pop this on this direction to just give this a base, a better base to sit on. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim here. How many pair of scissors do I have out? Sheesh. I'm going to go ahead and trim this so that it doesn't overextend the designer series paper. So what I want this to do is I want the eye to stop here on the snow globe. Instead of having this white piece extend out beyond where it is like it's like a a directional arrow subtly for your eye, we're going to have this stop here so that the point that your eye gets caught is here at the base of the snow globe, which is the other part of our focal point, right? So we're creating this message, this area right here. But we're going to go ahead, let's go ahead and glue some of these pieces together. So I'm going to pinch my snow globe and my paper so that it's set where I want it to be. Make sure it doesn't shift. There we go. I always love putting dimensionals on the back of things right at that intersection so that they stay where I have intended them to be. And then this is going to sit here. But before we stick this down, let's talk about this background here. So yes, we can just leave it plain like this. It's very cute that way too. But we also have the Forever Plaid embossing folder. And so this is just a really fun, it mimics the plaid that is in the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper. And we can go ahead and add some background to our cardstock that's just gonna dress it up just a little bit. Now this one I'm a little bit pickier about getting straight because it really does have lines on it that are vertical and horizontal. There's some wavy ones too, but for the most part it wants to be pretty straight. And then I will invite you back here to my die cutting station. So remember with the big embossing folders, you're gonna read the plate, the directions are right on it. And I see right on here, use with 3D embossing folders, 1 and 4. There's a big 1 up here at the top, so I'm gonna do 1, and then our cardstock and folder hinge first, and then 4 on this gray plate. Depending on when you got these plates, you might have one that's clear blue instead for number 4. But either way, this is a really great way to put some texture onto background layers. So let's take a look at how this comes together now. So we have this here. Isn't that a pretty plaid? Now this one is on back order right now, but it will be back the week of October 7th, so just next week. So don't worry too much about that. You'll be able to get it later. And in the meantime, we have it here as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these dimensionals on the back. And I'm going to show you kind of how it is with and without. So here is going to be with, and then here is our designer series paper and our snow here. Okay, so there's the with version. We'll pretend that this has an extra layer on it. Here is what it would look like without. So also still a pretty cute card, but that extra embossed layer, gosh, it makes a really big impact, and it just dresses up the back of our card. So let's go ahead and pop these on. When I use a 3D embossing folder especially, I really prefer to use multi-purpose liquid glue for my layers because they have a tendency to stick better. When you have so much embossing, the 3D embossing folders emboss above the page as well as below. So you're taking the flat cardstock and you're having some raised and some lowered areas. There's not a lot of surface area on the flat or on the top for glue to grab. And so that's where I really appreciate the multi-purpose liquid glue because it fills in all of those spaces. So, hey, Marilyn. All right, so we're gonna take this now and pop the dimensionals. Let me see, did I get them all peeled? We're gonna pop these on. And then we have some decoration embellishments, and we're gonna stamp on the inside of our card. And then I'm gonna show you some other stamping ideas with this stamp set. All right, so there's the front, but we're going to dress it up even more with our white loose snowflakes. Now, oh yay, Tanya says that the embossed layer looks great and she wants to case this card. Yeah, go for it. That's what they're here for. So we're going to go ahead and pop some glue on. When you're doing these, I highly recommend putting the glue on the card and not on the snowflakes because the snowflakes are very difficult to handle. And so you're going to want to, where's my take your pick tool? You're going to want to put the glue on the paper so that you're not trying to handle gluey snowflakes. Okay, I was in, my son was hanging out in my stamp room the other day in my studio, and we were chatting, and he had this in his hand, and he was twisting and twisting, and I was like, wow, what are you doing? So, but it's okay. No, take your pick tools were harmed. I was afraid that he was opening or twisting the end part, the cap. But he wasn't. He was just spinning the back end. Because as you know, I almost never turn this thing. So if you have a take your pick tool and you are wondering about the glue on the end, I use the same glue for a long period of time. The only time I change it is when I realize that it's really not sticking at all. In fact, I kind of prefer it when it's like getting close to the end because it has just a minimum stickiness, if that makes sense at all. I like it to not hold on too tightly to whatever I'm trying to pick up. So, all right. So now I've got my snowflakes on here. You can add more or not or whatever. I like them to congregate around our focal point. So I might put one up here. Actually, I will. I'm going to put two up here, I guess. But you'll notice that I'm doing them in a way that is drawing your eye here in a directed manner. So I'm not like randomly sticking them around the card. I'm keeping them where it makes sense to build sort of a line of influence. Oh, that one's missing an arm. We'll skip that one. Building a direction for your eye to travel. And so I'm pretty deliberate about where I pop these kinds of embellishments on. So there you can see we have them traveling right across our focal point and bringing your eye right in here. So negative space like this where there's nothing is a great way to direct your eye to a focal point because your eye doesn't stick out here. Like, you know, that part of the card is not super interesting. You really want to see the interesting parts. And so your eye is drawn here to the focal point. Okay. All right, so let us stamp here on the inside of our card. You can make this stamping as complicated or as simple as you want. I'm going to do this one simply, and then I'm going to show you some really great ideas for making them a little bit more involved. So we're just going to use snowflakes because here we are with our Let It Snow. I realized I haven't stamped the penguin inside here yet, so watch for more cards with the penguins, I think, to be coming, because they are kind of a favorite of this stamp set. Whenever people look at this, they're like, the penguins, they're so cute. So yeah, rest assured we'll get some fun penguin stuff in here. But all right, so I'm just going to stamp here. Now this means that you could keep your greeting only to the side here, or you could write across the whole background. Pool Party is a very nice light color, so it gives you some choices on how much you want to write inside your card. And thanks, Sue. I'm glad you like this one. So now we're going to pop this on the inside, and we have our card here, our Let It Snow. There we go. All right, so like I said, the link here, I'll get this fixed really quickly. So what you want to do is think about the best choice for you this month. You want to definitely consider the starter kit. Episode, what are we on? 494. Think about the starter kit as a really great option for okay, why isn't this working? It's very strange. Okay, well, I guess it'll take me an extra second. Sorry guys. Okay, I want to show you the other cards here that are part of this suite. There we go. Okay, now the link should work, finally. I want to show you the other cards that are part of this collection here, and the way these come together. Oh yeah, Tanya says the penguins. I thought I'm not gonna, okay, Tanya was saying that she didn't want to get the set only because of the penguins. Well, let me show you. I have made several cards with this suite already, and I haven't used a penguin yet. So obviously the penguins are like saving the best for last. I don't know. If you think the penguins are the best part of it, let me know. This is the card that I showed you last week at the end of the week with this fun circle layout with the Spotlight on Nature, Everyday Details dies. Spotlight on Nature dies would also work, but Everyday Details are my favorite. And then after I hung up the phone after I ended our video last week. I couldn't stop stamping with this. I decided I wanted to work on some envelopes for our project. So you might have seen these already on my social media channels, but here is one. I stamped the little house, and here we go. The little house and the trees and the snowflakes. So there's our fun little envelope there. So really simple stamping, 3 colors of ink, and a really great set of ideas there. So here's another one. This is the one with the mountains where I stamped them in the background. Now for this one, when we stamped our card last week, I didn't do any masking. I just stamped it. Remember, I'll show you here. I stamped it in the background and then just overlaid it with our mountains and our trees. So then we die cut this house to put on top. You can die cut and glue things to your envelopes with the multi-purpose liquid glue, but it makes me really nervous. I'm always afraid that something's going to get caught under there. It'll get caught on another letter or whatnot. So I prefer to do masking for these. And so what I would do is I would just take a piece of typing paper is best because it's not so thick. Cardstock's a little thick. But I would stamp the orange house, and then I would go ahead and put this across here to protect the orange house. And then I would stamp the snow or the snowy mountain in the background. So that way you can get that sort of layered look there. Okay. All right. So there's another envelope. Here is another one with just the mountains and trees. So fun possibilities there for just the mountains and trees. And then this last one was just a very simple version of the mountains and trees. And you can see that I did the masking here. You could add the snowflakes kind of going up the side here. I usually avoid putting stamping down at the bottom. I haven't seen this for a while, but for a while the post office used to put like a hash barcode down here that they would print sometimes in an envelope. So I usually try and avoid that area. But if you do stamp it, they'll just put a sticker over it with their little hash label anyway, so probably not a big deal. All right, the other thing that I really like about these loose snowflakes is that they're very flat, so I feel like they're not going to trigger that bump, extra postage bump that some of the thicker embellishments, the thicker gems and rhinestones and stuff might do. So there is a fun way to use some of these. Here's another one with a different snow globe on it. This is actually the one that I did during our demonstrator team event last week. So lots of possibilities. So I will have some more cards to share with you featuring the Snowy Scenes Suite collection. And they'll be featured, like I said, for LovenStamps monthly tutorials for the month of October. And of course that includes the PDF tutorials with the photos for all of the projects that I've included in that month's selection. There is a shaker card coming. There might be a twist on a shaker card coming. I have to play with it and make sure that it works the way I want. And I have to make a run to the dollar store for that first. So, anyway, there's a little teaser for you. But any size order in my online store gets those tutorials. Of course, demonstrators on my team also get those tutorials. So if you're getting the demonstrator starter kit, you'll have access to them also. And the other thing is if your order is $50 or more, then you will also get 2 card kits in the mail. And I have I've got these almost ready to go in the mail. Here's the bucket of them for card kits from September. So a lot of you guys are getting those in the mail, which will be a lot of fun. So, all right. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. The link for product should work now. The link for the products that I've used in this project. And then if you have any questions about the starter kit, definitely let me know. So, yay. I'm glad you guys like these cards. Thanks. We'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you had a good weekend. We had vacation stamping school, which is always a blast. And we look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday for another set of card ideas from Maker Mornings with Meg. And if you have any questions, as always, let me know. So happy stamping, everybody. Have a great day.